Hello friends, and welcome to the Forgotten Past. On this channel, you'll explore untold stories, lost events, ancient discoveries, and hidden secrets from across history. Let's view the video. In 1587, over 100 English settlers vanished without a trace in the New World, leaving behind only the word Croatoan carved into wood. This is the haunting mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke, an enigma that still baffles historians and archaeologists more than 4 centuries later. By the late 16th century, England was hungry for power and global prestige. Queen Elizabeth I's court dreamed of colonies that would rival Spain's vast empire. The New World offered opportunities for trade, territory, and the spread of Protestantism. England's ambitions were both economic and deeply nationalistic. Rivalry with Catholic Spain dominated England's foreign policy. The Spanish controlled vast wealth from their American colonies, while England was eager to break into the same markets. Explorers like Sir Walter Raleigh became instruments of this vision, gaining royal charters to explore and settle overseas. In 1584, Raleigh received a charter to establish a colony in North America. His first expedition scouted Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina. The report spoke of fertile land, friendly natives, and promising prospects, enough to inspire the Queen and investors to support further settlement. The idea was to use Roanoke as a strategic base for attacking Spanish ships and asserting English presence in the New World. Colonization would be both a military and economic enterprise, serving England's strategic goals while bringing wealth through trade and resource extraction. But England's colonial plans were ambitious and poorly supported. Financial strains, long sea voyages, limited supplies, and a lack of understanding about the terrain and native cultures created enormous challenges. Despite these, the dream of a permanent English settlement endured, driven by hope and desperation. Roanoke was not England's first colonial attempt, but it became its most infamous. What started as a patriotic mission to establish a foothold in America would soon unravel into one of history's deepest unsolved mysteries, a haunting tale of disappearance, failure, and speculation that still echoes today. In 1587, Governor John White led over 115 English settlers, including women and children, to establish a new colony on Roanoke Island. This wasn't England's first attempt, but it was their most hopeful, aimed at creating a lasting foothold in the New World for the English crown. Unlike earlier expeditions made up mostly of soldiers, this group was civilian-based, suggesting they intended to stay long-term. Families arrived with farming tools and seeds, hopeful of building communities, not forts. Among them was White's daughter Eleanor Dare, who gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. Upon arrival, they discovered the remains of the previous failed colony from 1585, abandoned buildings and deteriorating structures, overgrown by nature. Still, they decided to settle in the same area, believing the location could be revived with hard work and cooperation from local tribes. The settlers encountered Algonquian-speaking natives, including the Croatoan people. Relations were cautious but initially peaceful. However, tensions quickly escalated with other tribes like the Secotans, who remembered the aggressive tactics of earlier English expeditions and viewed the new arrivals with suspicion and resentment. Supplies began running dangerously low within weeks. Roanoke was remote and isolated, and the settlers lacked the ability to sustain themselves through agriculture or hunting. Fearing starvation and conflict, John White decided to sail back to England for reinforcements, a journey expected to take only a few months. Before departing, White urged the colonists to leave signs if they had to relocate or if danger struck. A cross carved into a tree would signal distress. When he left, White never imagined he'd be gone for 3 years, delayed by war with Spain and resource shortages. White's departure marked the beginning of the colony's slow descent into legend. While the settlers remained behind, facing uncertainty, disease, and dwindling resources, their fate would soon vanish into silence. When White finally returned, there would be no trace of his daughter, granddaughter, or any of the settlers. When John White finally returned to Roanoke Island in August 1590, 3 years had passed. His ship anchored off the coast. And with growing anxiety, he and his crew approached the settlement, only to find it eerily abandoned, silent, and overgrown by wilderness and creeping vines. The colony's fort was dismantled, not destroyed. No signs of a battle, fire, or chaos were present. Buildings were gone, and personal belongings had vanished. The settlers had disappeared completely. Most disturbing of all, there were no graves, bodies, or human remains anywhere in sight. White found a single clue, the word Croatoan carved into a post of the fort, and CRO etched into a nearby tree. There was no cross carved beside them, which meant the colonists had likely left voluntarily, perhaps relocating to Croatoan Island. Now known as Hatteras. Driven by hope, White wanted to sail south to search Croatoan Island. But severe storms battered the coast, damaging his ship. His exhausted and mutinous crew refused to go farther. Heartbroken, White was forced to return to England, without ever learning the fate of his family or the settlers. The mystery grew deeper with time. Despite later expeditions, no clear evidence of the settlers was ever found. No written records, letters, or artifacts explained what had happened. The disappearance of over 100 people remained the first great mystery of colonial America. Many believed the colonists integrated with native tribes. Some claimed sightings of blue-eyed or English-speaking natives years later. But no solid proof ever emerged. Others suspected they were killed, starved, or perished trying to reach inland settlements. Every theory lacked conclusive evidence. The Roanoke mystery quickly passed into legend. It haunted historians and inspired ghost stories for centuries. A hopeful beginning had ended in silence, leaving behind only a carved word in the woods, and endless questions about what truly happened to America's lost colony. The disappearance of the Roanoke settlers gave rise to countless theories. Historians, archaeologists, and even amateur sleuths have proposed explanations ranging from starvation to war, assimilation, and supernatural forces. Each theory offers clues, but none have definitively solved the puzzle of America's first lost colony. One popular theory suggests the settlers assimilated with the friendly Croatoan tribe on nearby Hatteras Island. Some oral traditions and accounts describe native groups with English traits, gray eyes, English words, or European-style houses. However, no written records from the settlers themselves have ever confirmed this integration. Others believe the colonists tried to move inland toward the Chesapeake Bay. John White had initially planned to settle there. Some speculate they may have perished along the way or been attacked by hostile tribes, unable to survive the journey or the wilderness beyond. A darker theory proposes the Spanish were behind it. Spain had spies in England and knew about Roanoke. If Spanish forces attacked and wiped out the colony, they left no trace. However, no evidence has ever surfaced to confirm a Spanish raid or military involvement. Starvation and disease remain plausible explanations. The settlers arrived poorly supplied and unprepared. Drought struck the region around 1587 to 1589. Famine, illness, or harsh winters could have killed many, forcing the survivors to disperse into the wilderness or seek shelter with local tribes. Some theorists look to the supernatural, alien abduction, mass hallucination, or ancient curses have all been suggested. While imaginative, these ideas lack credibility and serve more as pop culture fuel than serious historical inquiry. Still, the eerie silence surrounding Roanoke makes even wild theories strangely captivating. Despite centuries of debate, no single theory fits every clue. Each offers glimpses but never the full picture. The lost colony remains one of history's most enduring mysteries, an unsolved riddle that continues to captivate scholars, storytellers, and truth-seekers across the world. Despite centuries of mystery, modern science has taken bold steps to uncover the truth behind Roanoke. Archaeologists, historians, and even geneticists have launched numerous investigations across Roanoke Island, Hatteras Island, and beyond, each hoping to find physical proof of what happened to the vanished colonists. In the 1990s and 2000s, teams led by the First Colony Foundation excavated key sites on Roanoke and Hatteras Islands. Artifacts such as 16th-century English tools, copper rings, and gun flints were found, suggesting that English settlers may have lived among the Croatoan or migrated south. One breakthrough emerged from a centuries-old map drawn by John White himself. Under ultraviolet light, researchers discovered a concealed symbol, possibly marking a second settlement inland along the Chowan River. This hidden fort theory sparked renewed excavations at a site called Site X in Bertie County. At Site X, archaeologists uncovered pottery shards, sword handles, and other English origin items from the late 1500s. Though limited in number, they suggest at least a small group of settlers may have moved inland. Still, no evidence confirms whether this was the entire Roanoke group. Another intriguing lead came from the Dare stones, engraved rocks allegedly left by Eleanor Dare detailing the colonists' fate. Found in the 1930s, most were dismissed as forgeries, but one remains debated. If authentic, it suggests mass death and hardship, but conclusive proof remains elusive. Genetic studies have also begun. Researchers are comparing DNA from Native American descendants in the region with European markers, hoping to detect traces of Roanoke ancestry. So far, results are inconclusive but promising, adding a biological angle to historical detective work. Even with modern tools, satellite imagery, LiDAR scans, and advanced archaeology, the full story remains out of reach. Yet each discovery brings us a little closer, showing that the mystery of Roanoke isn't dead, it's still being written in the soil, stone, and blood of history. Roanoke's haunting mystery left an indelible mark on American identity. The idea of over 100 settlers vanishing without explanation has fueled imaginations for centuries, inspiring stories, plays, theories, and debates. It became not just a historical question, but a powerful symbol of loss and wonder. Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, became a mythical figure. Her name appears in poems, novels, and monuments. Some legends even claim she survived and became a native queen. Fact or fiction, her story helped keep the mystery of Roanoke alive across generations. Roanoke's disappearance shaped early American literature and folklore. Writers like William Strachey and later authors romanticized the colony's fate, weaving it into supernatural tales, lost civilizations, and ghost stories. It became part of America's narrative of danger, hope, and the unknown. In popular culture, Roanoke resurfaces often, from TV series like American Horror Story to documentaries and museum exhibits. Each portrayal reflects society's current fears and obsessions, from alien abduction to secret societies. The Lost Colony has evolved into a cultural canvas for mystery and speculation. The annual outdoor drama The Lost Colony, performed on Roanoke Island since 1937, dramatizes the settlers' plight. It's one of America's longest-running plays, preserving history through performance. Thousands attend yearly, keeping the tale alive under the stars, just steps from where it all happened. Roanoke has also influenced how Americans view colonialism, its promises and perils. It reminds us that early expansion was risky, often fatal, and fraught with misunderstanding. The Lost Colony serves as a sobering counterpoint to triumphalist stories of America's founding. Ultimately, Roanoke endures because it has no ending. It invites endless curiosity, bridging fact and legend. Whether seen as tragedy, mystery, or myth, its legacy continues to echo through America's past, whispering through the trees of a forgotten island where 100 settlers simply vanished. Thanks for watching The Forgotten Past. If you enjoyed the journey, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a hidden story or untold truth. New discoveries await. See you in the next video.